Hello and welcome. My name's Barry Good from the London School of Business and Finance, and today we're here to talk about marketing management. And in particular, our topic for discussion today is stakeholder information exchange. And I'm fortunate enough to be joined by our panel of experts, which today consists of Andrew Lancaster and Louisa Mazinta. So we'll start with some introductions from them. Andrew, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about who you are?
Hi, I'm Andrew Lancaster. I'm the Managing Director of Xi1. We're a digital marketing agency dealing with all things online, all things creative, and looking to provide clients with a return on their investment from their marketing channels.
Hi, I'm Louisa Mazinta. I'm the CEO of themarketingsite.com, which is a portal focused on marketing and communication.
Thanks, guys, and welcome. Now, our company under the spotlight today is Walmart. And we've had a look at a brief case history regarding them. Now, my first question to both you guys is around this concept of stakeholder information exchange. So I'm interested, first of all, just to get your take on what this is. Is this a new concept that suddenly it's starting to appear that businesses need to take notice of, or is it something that's been around for a while? Andrew, let's hear from you first of all.
I think traditionally the exchange of information has always been a bit of one-way traffic, whether it be sort of direct mail, whether it be trying to get direct spot response, or just advertising to the masses, even through multi-channel advertising. It's always been sort of reasonably one-way traffic, and I think that's something that Walmart do, and they've done well. I think sort of where we're going with it is to have a two-way exchange. And I think that's something that we need to look at. Can Walmart do?
Sure. Okay, Louisa.
It's the traditional approach of a monologue when it comes to communicating with your customers versus a dialogue. And the importance of a dialogue is that you're learning what it is that your customers want from you as you communicate with them and as you listen to what it is that you're saying. So no, it's not new. It's been around for a while. But unfortunately, it hasn't necessarily been applied in every single industry as effectively as it could be.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Now, we know that Walmart have used coupons traditionally as a way of driving traffic through their stores. How effective is that? Is that a pure definition of stakeholder information exchange, or is that a sort of a dilution of that type of strategy?
I would say that a coupon is a sales promotion tool. It's a way to, particularly for a retailer, to drive traffic in store. Generally, it's an item that is promoted where the cost is discounted quite dramatically. And essentially, it's a loss leader for the retailer. They're not going to make any money out of that particular item, but they are going to drive people into the retail store. And once they're in store, they're going to fill their basket with a range of other products and services.
Right, okay. Andrew, what are your
thoughts?
thoughts?
I mean, when we look at the Walmart model, it must be a loss leader for them. When they pride themselves on cost leadership, the lowest price guaranteed almost scenario, to then be, I mean, again, though, it is one-way communication still. The coupon scenario that they use is very much one-way traffic. So it is more of the monologue rather than the dialogue, as Louisa touched on. But I think they do it very well, and I think that it's been working for them. But, can they change?
Okay. So what would a more comprehensive information exchange system look like?
Well, if you look at a really great example of this, it would be Tesco in the UK. What Tesco have done is they have built an extensive customer database. They're through their loyalty program, and they are able to track and monitor exactly which customers buy which products, when and where. And based on the insight that they can extract from their data, they can apply various strategies to drive people to buy more often, for more money, or implement what we call the RFM model, which is recency, frequency, monetary, in terms of driving sales and driving the kinds of behaviours that they want.
I mean, when you look at Tesco's, though, it's so multi-channeled. It's not just about driving a footfall into the store, making sure that you obtain the club card number, and then being able to track sort of what it is that person's shopping for. It actually also goes back to, I mean, everything that they do, everything that Tesco's do is based around that club card, about that member, about understanding that the trends. It's about looking at, okay, how are they shopping with us, but also what are they doing online? You provide your club card information. when you're buying things online. But Tesco's are so multifaceted that they do finance. They're now their own bank as well in this country. So if you're applying for credit through them, if you're applying for a credit card or a loan or some insurance, you're always prompted for your club card. You're prompted for that because they're going to give you something back. They're going to give you club cards, which is as good as... they're going to give you club card points, which is as good as cashback. And we know at this moment in time, cashback is a huge sort of marketplace. And so it's not just about driving footfall into the store. It's about capturing information across so many different channels.
Okay.
It's all about the exchange of value. If me as the retailer, if I give you value in terms of cashback or in terms of offers that are relevant to you at that particular point in time, you as my customer are giving me value in terms of your information about who you are. You're allowing me to track your behavior so that I can make the most relevant offers to you when you're ready to actually buy the product or service.
Okay. How is that information used? I mean, we live in a litigious society. There are issues around data protection and where that data goes. Are there any caveats there that companies need to be aware of?
Absolutely. It can be an absolute minefield if you're not aware of the legislation surrounding data privacy. But it's very, very clear, and different countries have different requirements, be it opt-in or opt-out. But once you're part of a program like the Tesco Loyalty Program, etc., then you've essentially given your permission to the company to communicate with you, and the value that you get in return as the customer is more and more relevant promotion, as opposed to a spray and pray approach, which is what essentially the Walmart coupon is.
Okay.
So without that level of customer data or the insight into the customer data, all Walmart can do is they can send coupons out and hope that it will drive traffic in store. And it's a strategy that has worked for them. And specifically with their business strategy of a low-cost solution provider with everyday lower prices, which is how they position themselves in the marketplace, they're not necessarily going to go into an investment in a customer loyalty or CRM program, which is going to add cost to their particular delivery.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, someone like Tesco's is going to have a very comprehensive privacy policy, and it's going to be very ethical, and you're going to know sort of exactly where you stand if you wanted to do that additional bit of research, if you felt that maybe something wasn't quite right. But I think it's got to be a win-win situation. Everything has to be a win-win. The win-win is, as Louisa rightly said, that you're getting promotions that are tailored to your needs and your requirements. There's that big thing about needs and wants, and generally the things that you're going to buy in a superstore are going to be not only just the things that you want, but the things that you need. And I think they pick up on that, and as a result, they focus their incentives on the things that you need to buy, and therefore it's driving you back to the store. You're saving money on certain things, and then to boot, I think every quarter you get your club cards, your points back as a monetary value that you can go and spend as you like. I think now even you can double them and have days away and all different sorts of things. It's they're doing really well with it.
Well, Tesco's quite clearly are doing it well, and it's a system that's been utilised effectively in the UK. What about global companies? I mean, how does this technology roll out on a global scale? I mean, because we know that there are different laws that apply in different countries. Walmart, we know, is a global company. Is this why they've not done this, do we think?
I don't think this is why they haven't done it. I think that it all comes back to business strategy. Walmart's strategy doesn't allow them to invest in in-depth CRM programs. Their strategy is very much about low cost, therefore low investment in terms of customer relationship management. They are out there to promote and to drive people into these massive warehouses of stores, and once people are in store, they can get the lowest price for the products that they're looking for. A company like Tesco, on the other hand, their core asset sits in their customer database, and through the knowledge of their customers, their needs, their wants and their aspirations, they're able to cross-sell, upsell, next-sell to them based on customer behavioral analytics and based on propensity modeling, which is such a powerful strategy. However, that is core to their business strategy and would be built into their pricing model, whereas Walmart's pricing model would have a very different focus.
Okay.
I mean, I think if we were to track back and look at the days when Tesco's were very close to their nearest competitors, you could probably start to track back and understand that the implementation of the club card has been instrumental in its growth in the way that it is now, by far the majority sort of store in this country. But sort of touching on what Louisa said, I suppose from Louisa's response there, what you could take is that in reality it does come down to cost. They have done a cost benefit. As you rightly said, they've looked at can they afford to invest in that relationship with their client. Well, if they pride themselves on being the lowest price, well then they don't have the margin there to play with. They don't have the money to invest in a system that would need to on a global scale. So potentially they'll have done a cost-benefit analysis and decided we can't do this, we don't have the margin, it's not right for us, stick with what you know.
And in fact, their investment in technology has been much more on the supply chain management side, of building much closer relationships with their suppliers, of ensuring that they squeeze the margin, their supply margins down so that they can deliver on the promise that they make to consumers, which is everyday lower prices.
Okay, so how secure is Walmart's future then? Because we know that they've driven the price strategy very well. They're a very established company, but they're not doing stakeholder information exchange such to the extent that Tesco's might be. How secure is their future then if they're not going to pursue this type of strategy?
Walmart is enormous. And although a low-cost strategy is risky in that it's a zero-sum game, because you can only extract so much out of the value chain before there's nothing left to squeeze, they have the scale to make the business model work. I don't believe it's appropriate for them to look at a Tesco type of strategy. However, if you're coming into the retail environment and you wanting to compete at any level, you need to be able to look at getting to know your customers better and potentially using data as the tool to do that. At the point of purchase, if it's in a physical retail environment, the only way that you can do that is by getting the customer to submit a unique number so that you can track their behavior. Online, it's a different situation. Online, you can track behavior anonymously, but offline, you can't.
Okay.
I mean, that's exactly it. I think you would take, if you were to look at it on face value and sort of not actually get a grasp of the sheer scale of Walmart, if you were to look at it at face value, you would say, well, surely the way that technology is moving, the way that we're having these loyalty systems, ECRM, the way that we're monitoring behavioural sort of targeting and whatnot, you would say that surely they have to implement a system like we're talking about in order to continue to compete. But you're quite right, it's just not going to happen. It's just, the scale is just too much.
Okay, so let me get this right. So are we saying that companies like Tesco's are having to use stakeholder information exchange type systems in order to be able to keep up with companies like Walmart, rather than it being the other way around?
So I think different approaches have to be taken based on the business model. A company like Tesco, in order to differentiate themselves and in order truly to win in the marketplace that they're operating, the more data they capture about customers, the more relevant their communications can be, the more likely they are to be able to cross and upsell and next sell and grow their business with their customers. And their core asset there is customer knowledge. With an organisation like Walmart, their business strategy is cost leadership. So therefore, they cannot add any more cost to their business. They need to focus on driving traffic into their retail stores, and they need to focus on a variety and the value of the products that they offer. So for them, a broadcast monologue strategy makes sense, and coupons are a way to drive people into store so that they then go out and buy.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the question that we posed to the viewers in terms of considering the coupon system in terms of its effectiveness as a standalone solution. So what are we saying here out of the three possible solutions that we've had to consider? Are we saying that Walmart's use of coupons as a standalone strategy is very effective, or not effective as a sustainable solution, or is it very effective if used as a combined solution?
Well, I think just to sort of take it back to that prior question, just before we touch on that, you spoke about Walmart sort of competing with Tesco's. When you look at the UK and Walmart competing with Tesco's, what you actually have is Asda competing with Tesco's.
Sure.
And when you look at those two, it's Tesco's that outperforms Asda.
Sure.
Asda will have some form of loyalty